The Observer would like to advise that the following video comes with a trigger warning. The content in this video is of a sensitive nature, so please beware that the topic of this video may trigger you. The Observer recommends that you consider your own mental health before you watch this video.
He was gone, and then I wrapped him up in his blanket and I drove to Mum's. And then I showed him to Spencer, and me and Mum dug a hole. We dig a hole, and we put him in the garden that he spent his last summer, where he had his little birthday party, where he used to run around and play. And we buried him. We buried him and wrapped him in his little blanket. I gave him a kiss and cuddle goodbye. And then I put some slabs over him, and then I put some plants on top, and we're going to make a nice little grave. And Charlotte didn't see him. James is going to come down. Alright, Jude. James is going to come down and he's going to choose some bits for the little doggy's grave, because it was James's dog, but I couldn't bear to give him back to James. There's a law about burying your dog in the garden. I don't care. If it's against the law, then ring the police, because my dog's in the garden and that's where he's staying, alright? So ring the police. It's not putting my bloody family member, like my nan or my granddad or my auntie or uncle, in the garden, is there? So if the dog's in the garden, then ring the bloody police. I don't give a shit. My dog's in the garden and that's where he's staying. Yeah? And that's where he's staying. The country's gone to bloody pot. So I don't give a shit. There's my doggy's grave, and that's where I can go and sit and remember my little doggy. And I don't care what you say. I think it's ridiculous. But bloody bang me up for fucking 5 years then for putting my dog in the garden. This is where my dog is, and that's where he's staying now. You can sod yourself. There's a law about being an arsehole as well. There's my little baby, and James is going to come down, and we're gonna put a little fence around it. And now you might say it's too much. It's only a dog. Well, it's only a dog, but it's my dog. He's under there asleep now. Here's his little candle with a little angel watching him, and there's a little Dachshund toy. And there's some plants. It might not be much. Look, there's his little dog bowls and his little toy. I love that dog with all my heart. I wouldn't have a dog if I couldn't look after a dog. I wouldn't. And the thing is, I was able to give my dog so much more. As I lost the weight, I was so excited and proud to lose the weight, so that I could just do more with my dogs. You know, I'm not being horrible. I prefer dogs more than people. And I'm not being horrible, but people let you down. Your dogs will always greet you with a smile, however bad your day is. And when Pickles was naughty, he'd just sit there and look so cute that you couldn't be angry at him, you know. You know, he, I had so much more to give for Pickles, and I didn't get the chance to. I had so many adventures for him, you know. I had so many adventures for him. But by all means, my dog's in the garden. If you need to report it, then report it, because I'm not going to dig up my dog, yeah? And my dog's laying there now, and that's where my little doggy will stay, you know? I'm going to get a little memorial with his picture on, with his date of birth, 10th of May 2022 to the 1st of November 2024. And when Patch goes, Patch has got another 10 years. When Patch goes, I put Patch next to him. You know? In 10 years' time, I put a little bit for Patch. I love my dogs. Yeah, I love my dogs. It's a big thing to get a dog. We don't deserve these animals, yeah. So for me to be sitting here crying my eyes out and to build a grave for my dog and to go to all this, it's because I love my dogs. I love my dogs, yeah. So in a way, as annoying as it is and a waste of the RSPCA's time, I'm glad that whoever the troll was that rang the RSPCA last year or this year, whenever I was living in Worcester Park 3 times, as annoying as it is to waste their time, they came round at 5 o'clock in the morning one morning. They knocked on the door at 5 in the morning, said I'd gone on holiday and left my dogs for a week. Yeah? Them 3 spot visits that the RSPCA had done, and every time I passed them, and they said your dogs are fine. The lady was really upset and angry. The RSPCA have to act on the reports for the animals' welfare, yeah? But I knew my dogs were looked after. I didn't need to prove it, but them 3 times they came round, I'm glad they come round, because it just proved to myself how much my dogs were loved, do you know what I mean? It is bad, because the RSPCA is a charity, right? The RSPCA is a charity, and you're wasting the donations. For them to send an officer round at 5 in the morning, for them to send someone round in the afternoon, to send them round 3 times, you know, you're wasting their time for the dogs and the cats and the animals that actually does need the help, you know. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of them. It's called an AirTag, is it? Called an AirTag, yeah? So I'm going to get an AirTag for Patch. And I did have a big, I did buy, I'll show you it later. It's not here. I did buy a big metal garden leash. It was a 10-metre metal leash that I could have put on the dogs. But the dog's in the house when the dog got out, yeah? When Pickles and Patch got out, it was Patch that got out. When Pickles got out, he was indoors. I'm not going to go out and leave my dogs attached to a bit of wood or to the door. Do you know what I mean? My dogs need to run free. It was Patch that got out. I opened the door, Patch ran out. Now, the only thing I could have done differently was climb through the window. I'm not going to do that, am I? Yeah? And that's that. And that's that. So, oh, my doggy did get run over. Hello, Gemma. Thanks for your messages, honey. Listen, I'm not insensitive. I have had thousands upon thousands of messages, and I'm overwhelmed, and I'm thankful. And the amount of people on here, you might just watch TikTok, yeah, and you might come across my page once a week or whatever, yeah. But a lot of people watch TikTok every day. A lot of people look forward to seeing us on here. They get used to seeing people. And they say, oh, let me just check to see what's Lawrence up to today. Let me look at them gorgeous doggies. And people, it's like when you watch EastEnders or you watch a TV programme and you get used to the characters. Like when Dot Cotton died. I never met Dot Cotton. I was well upset during Brown died. When you see an animal on the telly, you think, oh, look, there's the cute little dog and all that. A lot of you loved Pickles. And he'd get involved in the lives, jumping on my shoulders. He'd get involved in the videos. You know, and I'd be on the live and he'd be whinging for attention, little Pickles, and he'd be laying there and I'd say, oh, Pickles, you're hurting my neck. Get off, Pickles. Get down. And he was as much of it. Thank you for the gifts, sweetheart. Thank you, Becky. I'm sorry if I'm not saying thank you. But he was a much of it as well. He was part of the little journey. You got little Patch and Pickles page. It was awful. It was awful to come and tell everyone. I didn't want to tell everyone. I had to tell you as quick as I could because I don't want to sit and dwell on it. I've got so many good memories with that beautiful little doggy. His little birthday party. When he looked like Snoop Dogg. Now, I am going to get another dog. And please, some of you are going to have your opinions. You are going to have your opinions. And you're entitled to your opinions, yeah? But in no way am I ever going to be able to replace Pickles. In any way am I ever going to want to replace Pickles. Each dog has its own individual personality. And the next dog is not going to try and fill Pickles' shoes. The next dog's going to be loved just as much. I want a companion for Pickles. I want a companion for Patch. I want a little baby dog to come home to be able to give cuddles. Patch is not very cuddly dog. He doesn't like you touching his feet. The adventures that I was going to plan for Pickles will live on with the next doggy. I wouldn't ever want to replace Pickles. Yeah, I would never want to replace Pickles. And as much as it's a friend for Pickles, as much as it's a friend for Patch, it's a friend for me as well. Patch was Spencer's dog. Patch was Spencer's dog. Yeah? When I was living with my brother. When I lived with Spencer, I bought in Patch. And then Pickles was James's dog. When... Sorry, thank you for the gift, sweetheart. When Pickles... Sorry. Patch was Spencer's dog. Obviously, I end up looking after him. I get attached to these dogs, right? Pickles was James's dog. When me and James split up, stopped living together, James went back to Bristol. I couldn't give Pickles to James. I couldn't split Patch and Pickles up. Yeah? The next dog I'm going to get is going to be my dog. It's going to be my doggy. And I'm going to make sure it's got air tags. I'm going to make sure there's no possible ever way, right, that this could ever happen again. I couldn't go through this ever again. I could never go through this ever again, right? I've lost my nan this year that I love. And I do love my nan, and I miss my nan, and I think of my nan every single day. But I didn't cry as much as this when I lost my grandma. When I lost my nan. And as much as I'd speak to my nan all the time and I'd see my nan, my dog was there all the time. All the time. Yeah, I went on holidays. I'm entitled to be able to have a break and go away and work on myself. I'm entitled to enjoy myself. But every time I went away, my dogs would be with my mum. They wasn't just palmed off with random strangers. They was with my mum. And as much as my mum would get annoyed if the dogs chewed and that, the first thing my mum said to me is, I wish Pickles was here. I wish he was at my house. Yeah, we get annoyed when your dogs chew things. We get annoyed when your dog does a piss. But you get over it. You get over it, you know. And they were family dogs. Patch is here now. He's going to have a bit of roast dinner tonight. And he's been laying with me in the bed. And Patch hasn't once pissed anywhere. It's not the same. It's not the same for Patch. It's not the same for me. They lay on the bed together. They were brothers. Patch would... You saw when Pickles had his sore eye the other week from the sand. Patch was licking him. And Patch got his eye better. And, yeah, I'm going to get another dog. We're going to get another dog. And, this dog's going to be loved just as much. And I hope this dog shows as much love as Pickles showed. It's not a replacement. I'm going to go for another doggy that's like a dachshund. I think the temperament of a dachshund, I know they whinge. Every dog has their ups and downs, but I think the temperament of Pickles, I'd love to have a dog that's got a similar temperament. A similar temperament. You know? My doggy did have the best of love, and my doggy did have so much love to give. Such a lovely dog, you know. And have anyone here ever lost a dog? Any loss of life's a tragedy. Any loss of life's sad. How can I... Wait, any loss of life is sad and it's tragic, but when you lose something that's before its time, when it's young, it's you know... Hitting a dog hit by a car, any animal hit by a car is awful. I remember my nan, and now I can understand, and I kept thinking, my nan had a cat, yeah? My nan had a cat, and she loved cats, my nan. And when I got Callie and that, I was like, Nan, there's some kittens going, do you want a kitten? And when Callie had her baby, I asked her again, Nan, do you want a kitten? And I took a kitten to my nan, and she was really, she loved it, but she wasn't happy because she said, I can't keep it long. I can't keep it. Because my nan loved them, and I knew she had a little hamster, my nan. And when her hamsters died, I got another hamster. And when that hamster died, she said, Lo, as much as I love them, please don't get me another one, it's too sad, yeah? But my nan had a cat years ago, thank you, DJ, and it got run over. And she said, Lo, I'd love another cat, but it's so sad. And I thought, it is sad, but you get over it, Nan. And then I realised how sad it is, yeah? And it's so painful. It's so painful. It's so painful. If you've had a loss of a dog, any loss is sad. But when it's like that, getting your dog run over and then finding it, I'm glad I found him and I'm glad he's at rest, but it's so painful. It is so painful, you know? Like, I think, what if I'd have just jumped in the car and let Patch run around in that 1 minute and found him? Would Patch have got run over? Would they both have got run over? Would I have been able to save Pickles? What's done is done. What's done is done. You can't change what's done. You can't change. Patch just wanted to go out for a poo. Patch wanted to go out for a poo. And he ran out, you know? No, he wasn't on the lead because they were indoors. They were indoors. They came through the front door. I've got no guilt. How can I have guilt? You have to open the front door. I opened the front door and my dog got out. That's it, he ran out, Patch ran out. And as I put the gate across, I stopped Pickles. I put the gate across, went to get Patch, and Pickles had got through the gate and ran off. Yeah. So, you know, we was in a different area, different place. Pickles doesn't know the area. He gets scared by the fireworks. He's just run and run and run, and that's it. And I tried my best to find him as quickly as I could. And as the time went on, and it went longer, and I kept checking my phone, and nobody's rang, and I'm thinking, why is nobody ringing? Why is nobody ringing? And I know it's a little bit sad, but why did you not take the dog to the vet? Because he was dead, darling. He was dead. No good vet can bring back a dead dog. You know, he was dead. If there was any hope, I would have been straight down the vet. If there was any hope. But the dog was dead. I could see it was dead. I looked my doggy in the eyes. I shut his eyes. He was just there, lifeless. Just there with his eyes open, with a smile on his face. He did have a smile on his face. And he was dead. You know? What's the vet going to do? I can confirm your dog's dead. I could have told you that myself. You know? I could have told you that. So he's in Mum's garden. I don't give a shit if you're saying that's illegal or not. I think the world's gone to pot and it's insensitive. Yeah? When I was growing up, I'm old-fashioned. I was brought up around my grandparents, around my nans, my granddads. My granddad's put all his dogs in his garden. And that's where I'd want my dog to be. Yeah? That's where I'd want my doggy to be. Not palmed off in a dustbin or put in some random field or anything like that. Yeah? My doggy's in the garden. In the garden he spent the summer in, that he played with his brother Patch, that he ran around, that he saw me do my gardening, that he had his birthday parties. Yeah? And that's where he's staying. Charlotte said to me, get him cremated. And you can take him on little more adventures with you. And then I thought, I could get him cremated, but now he's at rest. I'm not digging him up no more. I'm not digging him up again. That's where he's staying now. And James is going to come down and he's going to choose some stones. And we're going to get a little memorial put up. And we're going to put a little bit of fence around. And he's under paving slabs at the moment. So that foxes can't dig him up. And that's it. And then we got somewhere to remember. My mum was crying and crying and crying. You know, But I don't care. Like, this TikTok business has all gone a bit mad, yeah? This TikTok's gone a bit mad if you're saying you can't even bury a dog in a garden. Like, do you know what I mean? By all means, they've reported me loads of times. They've reported me to the council. They reported me to DVLA. They reported me to the RSPCA all in the last year, just because I'm popular on TikTok, right? And all your reports have been unsuccessful and stupid. Like, at the end of the day, I do a bit of cooking. I'm quite a boring person, yeah? I'm quite a boring person. I don't even smoke cigarettes. I don't do nothing. So do what you got to do, but you're just wasting public time, yeah? You're wasting people's time, and it's very deluded behaviour. It's very deluded behaviour. Do you really think, right? Do you really think I would go to all the fuss with my dogs? Would do all the fuss of taking them away? I'd have palmed them off in kennels and all that shit. I'd take them on the holidays with me. Yeah. My budgie, when he died, the blue one, he's buried in London, in the garden. You know. But I will, listen, Pickles is in the garden. Yeah. Hello, Raya. R to the YTA. And Patch will go in the garden next to him. When Patch's time is due in 10 years' time, Patch will go in the garden next to Pickles. And that's it. You know? I'm glad where he is. And that's it. And that's it. I'm glad I've got a grave to go and visit my nan. I'm glad I've got a grave to go and visit my little doggy. And I'm not lifting him up. He's wrapped in his blanket. He's asleep. And that's where he's staying now. Yeah? And that's it. I've never heard something so ridiculous. I would happily go in front of a judge and say, I would happily go in front of a judge and say to them, unless you've lost an animal that you loved, you'll realise the pain, and you would do anything to have somewhere to go and visit your animal again. Yeah, I would happily go in front of a judge. So by all means, if you want to make that your next report, then make that your next report. But I'm telling you now, it's not going to stop me putting my next animals in there. So, you know, I'm just very thankful that I found my doggy, and that I'm not sitting here now 2 days he's been gone. Who's got him? Coming on here saying, has anyone got my dog? Has anyone seen this dog? When you lose the dog, until you find them, that fear and panic is awful. Awful. You know, when you go to the supermarket and you turn your back for 1 second and your child's out of sight, and you think, where's my child? Yeah? Where's my child? Or your son or daughter or your friend or person you live with, they come home late from work, or they come home late from school, or they come home late from college, and you just sit there, and after they're 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late, if they're not normally late, you think, where are they? They're okay, and you just give them a little ring to make sure they're all right, or they come through the door and the panic sort of goes, if that makes sense. When my sister was staying with me in London, and she'd get the bus back with her friend, and she'd be late one day, and I sit there worrying, and I'm thinking, where is she? Where is she? She's an hour late. Where is she? And then she'd come through the door, and you don't know whether to say, where have you been? Or to give them a hug. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Listen, there's no one on TikTok that's ever going to be able to hurt me. And there's nothing they can do with words, because I've lost my nan. I've given up my home. I've lost my lovely little doggy. Yeah. So everything that life sent to test me, I've got through it. I get stronger. I've made some lovely friends this year, some lovely friendships this year. And I've made more time for these friendships. I've appreciated more family time and loved ones. I've learnt a lot from loss. I've learnt a lot. And I like nice things. Yeah, I like nice things. But I prefer memories. Yeah, I prefer memories. You know, I'm not going to remember that £20 steak that I ate the other night. But I'll remember that £20 worth of petrol I put in my car and took the dogs on the beach. Not the petrol, but do you know what I'm trying to emphasise? I remember seeing Pickles run through that sand. He loved that sand in his toes, you know. So I don't want to go back to London now. I don't want to go back to London. I have nothing in London for me. I went back to London and it used to remind me of my nan. And it's changed so much. I've got a good friend that I will go and visit. My friend Jan. But apart from that, I have nothing in London no more. Why do I want to go back to there? When my nan died, that was it for me. You know? That was it for me. I got nothing there. Time for the next adventure. Time for the next chapter now. Time for the next chapter. On to the next adventure in life. We only get 80 years if we're lucky. I can't sit and dwell on a flat. I can't sit and just... No, I need to go forwards in my life. And try new adventures. And if it don't work, I'll go somewhere else. And if I fuck up, I fuck up. If it succeeds, then happy days. You know? Where London was... I haven't got nothing like that no more. My nan's dead. Yeah? My nan's dead. The family have all separated and gone their own ways. And what's in London for me? They've changed all the roads to 20 miles an hour. It's super expensive. It's polluted. It's congested. People all in a rush. Everyone's stressed out. Yeah? So I would rather move out a bit now. Yeah? Be a little bit further out. Be closer to my brother, my sister and my mum. It's still got to drive, but it's not all that hustle and bustle of London. It's cheaper and it's somewhere better for my dogs. You know? It's somewhere better for my dogs. Why do I want to live in a flat full of mould? That sometimes in life, yeah. Sometimes in life we've got to let go of some things to go forwards. Thank you, female boss. You know, sometimes in life we've got to let go. Let go of that bed that cost you £2,000. Let go of that wallpaper that cost you 500 quid. Start a new journey in life. Make new friends, new beginnings. Make new memories. Yeah? You know? This year was a very testing year. Good and bad, but so much good's come out this year as well. I've got my health back, which is priceless. And I'm happiest I've been in a long time. Thank you, Alice. And before I used to hate waking up every day and being like I was. And now I look forward to it. And I've made new friends. And I go out more with my friends and I do a lot more. And I'm not locked in and shy and all that anymore, you know? So I'm gutted for Pickles because I've got so many plans for Pickles and Patch. I have got so many plans for Pickles and Patch. Thank you, female boss. This Christmas is going to be sad because I got no nan this Christmas. This will be my first Christmas without my nan. This will be my first Christmas without my little Pickles. Thank you, Goldie hun. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, guys. But everything in life is temporary, my darlings. Yeah? Everything in life is temporary. Even you and I. So go and get that little bone for your doggy when you go out to the shops next. Yeah? Go and get that little bone for your dog. Don't be so angry with your dog if it did piss on your fucking chair or it chewed up your rug or... Yeah, because when they're gone, you'd half miss it. You'd half miss it. I would love him to jump on my shoulder again. You know? I'd love for him to jump on my shoulder. I'd love for him to whinge. I'd love for him to be trying to nick my food again. You know? Pickles will never be replaced. Pickles is never trying to be replaced. I want to go and get myself another dog. Some people are going to say, wow, it's not even been 48 hours yet. I'm going to spend my time looking for another dog. I'm going to go around with my mum and I'm going to look at different dogs and I'm going to know when I see the right doggy. And like I said, Patch was Spencer's dog. Pickles was James's dog. This one is my dog. Yeah. And Fee, I'm so sorry you lost your doggy too. And I know that thousands of you have wrote me messages, thousands of you. And I don't mean to be ungrateful, and I don't ever mean to be insensitive. I had headaches yesterday. You know, I had headaches yesterday. Would you go to animal refuge for a dog? I'll be honest with you. I want a dog from a baby. I want a dog from the start of its life to the end of its life. Now, I'm not saying... These dogs are already born. The dogs I'm looking at will already be born. Yeah? These dogs are already born. So I'm going to look for another doggy that would be about 8 weeks old. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Susan. You need to take some time to try and rest and greet. 100%. 100%.